Welcome to Governor State University. I am so very excited this morning for this event for several reasons. First of all, let's applaud the fact that this is our second annual Reimagining Electrical Vehicles event. It is always so very nice when we can bring together a group of government officials, industry and community leaders, and our own faculty, staff, and students to talk about innovation and how the region can work together to effect positive change. This morning's event has brought together over 200 of you, policymakers, private sector leaders, and other stakeholders to share the progress, discuss opportunities, and challenges that are faced as we galvanize toward this bold vision for the state of Illinois. Some of our guests today include very distinguished individuals. Although we welcome and are excited about everyone's participation, I, of course, have to start with our very own, the Honorable Congresswoman Robin Kelly. She will be speaking immediately after me. John Grueling, former president of the Will County Center for Economic Development. Bernard Alsbury, mayor of Hazel Crest. Yasmin Banco, Office of Senator Dick Durbin. Monica Gordon, commissioner and Cook County Board for the 5th District. Peter March, village president of Peatone. And we are expecting Donna Miller, commissioner of Cook County Board of Commissioners 6th District. Bruce Montgomery, State of Illinois Commissioner on Equity and Inclusion. Michael O'Brien, 2nd Ward Alderman, City of Kankakee. Joseph Rudez, mayor of University Park. And Teresa Settles, trustee of the Village of Park Forest. Let's welcome all of our government elected officials. If I have overlooked someone who is an elected official, please stand and be recognized now. Okay, I did a good job. I didn't overlook anybody. So why are we gathered here this morning? Just 2 years ago, Governor Pritzker and the General Assembly passed the Reimagining Electrical Vehicles Act, the Rev Illinois Act, into law. There was a focus on batteries, electric charging stations, some of which we have right here at GSU, electric grids, electric school buses, electric delivery vans and trucks, fleet management, drones. I think you're going to see some images today of some drone pictures, workforce training, and more. This groundbreaking program is designed to bolster Illinois manufacturing, already a top destination for electric vehicle manufacturing in the U.S., and to grow the ecosystem to create new capacity. This morning's event is about discussion and synergy around new capacities in Illinois. Second, I am looking forward to hearing from our speakers. We have a distinguished list of panelists and presenters who will facilitate discussions around this industry and its future. Each of them brings expertise and enthusiasm to today's topic and our conversations. And lastly, I'm always happy to sponsor gatherings like this on our beautiful campus. If you've never been to GSU, find some time to tour the campus before you leave, because we believe in opening our doors to the community, and this event is an example of that. Also at GSU, innovation is a part of our DNA, as is serving the community. I'd like to recognize Dr. June Zhao, Dean of the College of Business, as the driving force behind today's event, and also the university's Supply Chain Innovation Center and Business Incubator, one of only 15 in Illinois Innovation Network hubs in the state. Can we give Dr. Zhao a round of applause? The Supply Chain Innovation Center works to create economic growth and workforce development, as does the Reimagining Electrical Vehicles in Illinois Act, the impetus for today's event. Thank you to both, not only Dean Zhao, but also to Reggie Greenwood. Where's Reggie? I saw him somewhere. Reggie is the center's director and a major force behind planning today's event. We were delighted a year ago to receive $76,000 in a special grant from the Community Foundation of Will County to be used for an 18-month manufacturing automation upskilling program, which will help Will County residents with the soft and technical skills needed for career pathways in manufacturing. The grant was made possible by Amazon, a donation from them, and this is a partnership with Amazon, GSU, Mitsubishi Electric Automation, Joliet Township District 204, and Crete-Monee High School. As you can see, we've included as many partners as we can on this project. And I share all these names and details with you to show you how involved we are, how dedicated we are, and how complex some of the solutions to our community needs are. They require those partnerships, collaboration, and a willingness to consider pathways and alternative ways of doing things. This morning, I'm sure we'll get into discussions about all of these matters. When the recently signed Reimagining Electric Vehicles in Illinois Act was signed, a speaker from last year's event, Sylvia Garcia, the director of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, said, "Illinois is taking bold action to make sure Illinoisans are prepared to capture the economic benefits of the rapidly growing electric vehicle industry." And so I bring you greetings on behalf of Governor State University. I welcome you to the dialogue, to the partnership, to the synergy that's been generated around the electric vehicles industry. And more importantly, I bring you our very next speaker, who's here to share from a congressional point of view what this means to the region, to the area, and to all of the people in this room. Can you please help me give a Jaguar welcome to United States Congresswoman Robin Kelly.
Good morning, everyone. I am Robin Kelly, and I've had the pleasure of representing the 2nd Congressional District for now over 10 years. But I first want to take a moment to thank President Green, the faculty, staff, and students at Governor State University for being such great hosts. I'm here today to talk about our future. So much of our shared future is wrapped up in our environment: the air we breathe, the water we drink, the ground we walk on, or the ground I roll on now. This is the foundation of our lives, and we have an obligation to leave this world healthy for the next generation to thrive. The other week, I received a letter from Alex, Ryan, and Ethan, 3 fifth graders in University Park who are working on a project about the evolution of cars. I want to read some of that letter now. During our research, we have found that a lot of drivers cannot afford or do not have charging equipment for an electric vehicle. We are hoping that with the help of our elected officials, that can be changed. Electric vehicles will help reduce carbon emissions, which will help climate change and help save our environment, which will ensure our future and all our future generations. These are from 5th graders. My mind was nowhere there when I was in 5th grade. Electric vehicles are not some far-off, inaccessible concept. Elementary school students know the value. We passed the Inflation Reduction Act to invest in people like Alex, Ryan, and Ethan. The demand for electric buses, trucks, cars, and their vital components, such as batteries and chips, is skyrocketing. The industry is expanding faster than we could have imagined even just a decade ago, long before today's fifth graders were advocating for them. Our country and our state can't afford to be left behind by this technological revolution. We need to make investments now to prepare for future demands. Luckily, this overwhelming urgency was not lost on my colleagues and me last Congress. We passed the Inflation Reduction Act, we passed a bipartisan infrastructure law, and we passed the CHIPS Act. It is widely recognized by Congress, President Biden, American families, automakers, and auto workers that the path is a sustainable and prosperous future lies in embracing electric vehicles. The Inflation Reduction Act has set the stage for an American EV manufacturing boom that not only generates economic opportunities, but also creates tens of thousands of good-paying union jobs across the nation. We are already seeing the impacts of this historic legislation. Funding opportunities created by these new federal acts have already begun to position the United States as a global leader in the electric vehicle industry, bringing with it job growth, increased domestic manufacturing, and a concerted fight against climate change while championing environmental justice. Ensuring that electric vehicles make up 50% of all vehicles sold in the United States by 2030 is an ambitious goal, but the letter that I received reinforces the sense of urgency that we can and must confront this challenge and succeed. Everyone, from members of Congress to engineers to students in elementary school, knows that our future depends on making this clean energy transition. The Inflation Reduction Act has played a pivotal role in making new and used EVs more affordable for consumers and upgrading our power grid to accommodate more charging stations, thus providing the auto industry with market certainty. The impact of these initiatives is nothing short of remarkable. Just in the last 2 years, companies have invested nearly $85 billion in the manufacturing of electric vehicles, batteries, and EV chargers within the United States. The pace of investment is accelerating, with 2022 alone witnessing a staggering $13 billion in domestic EV manufacturing investments, triple the amount invested in 2020. Companies have also announced over $24 billion in battery manufacturing and more than 28 times the investment made in 2020, and have dedicated over $700 million to support EV charging infrastructure coast to coast. And these investments have clearly paid off, with the number of electric vehicles sold tripling in just the last 2 years. And this is not by accident. The Inflation Reduction Act offers incentives to buyers of new and used EVs. It extends credits to manufacturers to retool existing facilities and build new ones in the United States, and provides grants for the deployment of zero-emission heavy-duty vehicles. These measures will not only make EVs more affordable and convenient for consumers, but also provide much-needed support to the auto industry and ensure long-term innovations in a sustainable future. With the latest regulations from the Inflation Reduction Act, Illinois possesses the necessary foundation to attract investments and establish itself as a hub for EV manufacturing. The state's strategic location, skilled workforce, and robust infrastructure make it an attractive destination for companies seeking to capitalize on the burgeoning EV market. And Governor State University has positioned itself to play a leading role in this technological revolution. Since the Reimagining Electric Vehicles in Illinois Act passed in Springfield, GSU has been on the cutting edge of research that will shape Illinois' clean energy future. By fostering innovation, research, and collaboration with industry leaders, GSU is equipping its students with the skills and knowledge necessary to excel in the EV manufacturing sector. Through partnerships and continuous engagement, GSU is committed to working hand in hand with industry, ensuring that our graduates are at the forefront of this rapidly evolving field. Illinois' potential for expansion in this field is tremendous. By leveraging the strengths of our industries, workers, infrastructure, and educational institutions such as GSU and UIC, we can drive Illinois to the forefront of the EV manufacturing industry. I am thrilled that the Inflation Reduction Act has galvanized the American electric vehicle manufacturing industry, created tens of thousands of jobs, and positioned the United States as a global leader in the EV revolution. We are already making so much progress right here in Illinois. With the support at the local, state, and federal level, I am confident in the progress we are making toward a sustainable, electrified transportation future for Alex, Ryan, Ethan, and all of us. I now have the privilege to introduce Ms. Lisa Clemens-Stott. Lisa Clemens-Stott is the Electric Mobility Innovation Director in the Director's Office at the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Her work ensures that the goals of the Reimagining Energy and Vehicles Act becomes a reality, and Illinois truly becomes the Silicon Valley of electric vehicle manufacturing. She has worked at the critical intersection of community and economic development for nearly 15 years. Thank you all so much for having me here today, and please join me in welcoming Lisa as our next speaker. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here today. My position wasn't created last year when you met for the first Reimagining Electric Vehicles Act. As the Congresswoman said, I'm Lisa Clemens-Stott with the Illinois Department of Commerce. We have a great partnership here at GSU, and we have a great partnership with our congressional delegation as we're all moving forward to try to win this sector. I'm going to give you some updates from where you were last year. Just to set the where we are as a state, this is nothing new. We have codified into state law several goals set by Governor Pritzker, codified by the state legislature. The first is that 1 million EVs on the road by 2030, and the second is the state running on clean energy by 2050. So to get there, we have created a lot of laws. And while last year it was the Reimagining Electric Vehicles in Illinois Act, there have been some changes, and now it's the Reimagining Energy and Vehicles in Illinois Act. We also have the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act that plays a huge role in this. We have the Manufacturing Illinois Chips for Real Opportunity, which is our Semiconductors Incentives Act. The Illinois Finance Authority is the state's climate bank, and that's going to unlock a lot of different parts. And then, of course, you may have heard that the governor won a closing fund, the Invest in Illinois Fund, this spring. This is one of my favorite pictures. Kara from TCCI is in the room right now. You can see, and Brian is here from Lion, but that is his colleague Nate in the picture. And we have, of course, RJ, the CEO of Rivian, with the governor and the Secretary of Commerce on the lawn when they passed the federal CHIPS Act. So we are very, very proud of our homegrown talent and our companies, and these people are really helping to move the whole industry forward. So the state is conducting a very coordinated, prioritized process. This is one of Governor Pritzker's top goals as far as business attraction. And so a lot of agencies are coming together every single week. DNR, CMS, they're the ones that do most of the fleet management in the state of Illinois. Of course, the Environmental Protection Agency, of course, IDOT. We are meeting every other week to keep moving EV coordination forward. So since last year's event, some things have happened. We've really made progress in this area as far as the underpinnings of government. So last July, a state EV officer was formally appointed by the governor and approved by the Senate. That's Megha Lakshura. She's headquartered at EPA. She would be a great guest for the 3rd annual next year. My role as the E-Mobility and Innovation Director was created and filled. I'm going up on my 1-year anniversary in June. And then recently, a DCEO deputy for energy and utilities was also named. So the governor has really made sure that we have sector-specific people throughout different agencies working specifically on the electric vehicle sector. We also have more tools in our toolbox. One of the things, I don't think this has happened. I mean, Mark Denzler from IMA will have to tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this has ever happened in the history of the Illinois legislature. They passed the REV Act in November of 2021, and every single time they have met since then, they have created more enhancements for the REV Act, right, Mark? That doesn't happen very often, but it's an iterative process that we are listening to industry. They are telling us what they need. We are trying to be as competitive as possible. So there have been so many enhancements. I don't call them improvements because it was a pretty darn good bill to begin with, but we've made so many enhancements to the original bill as we've listened to industry. And then, of course, we created the Invest in Illinois Closing Fund. And the bottom line is, thanks to the IRA, the federal programs that Congresswoman Kelly and others have helped pass, and the Illinois state incentives, we are very, very competitive in this industry. So the result is that our pipeline has blown up in the last 6 months. Everyone seemed to get the word that the governor created the closing fund and that our incentives were very good. So Kara with TCCI knows that our first deal was announced with her with TCCI last year. We have another announcement coming June 1st, and we expect to have many more announcements through the REV program in the coming months. So we are still investing to meet the moment. Like I said, we keep moving forward, we keep listening to industry. So a little bit more about what we've done with REV. Smaller companies are now eligible to come into the program because we lowered the capital investment from $20 million to $2.5 million. So that captures much more of the supply chain and make sure that we hit many more businesses. Recently, we also increased eligibility to include renewable companies, wind, solar, energy storage. So that has really brought in a lot of projects under the REV banner. We increased benefits so that retained employees get as much benefit for the company as new employees, because we want to make sure that we super serve our existing employers. And then we doubled the length of the REV benefits. So the initial term is 10 to 15 years, and you can do a one-time renewal. So now that is a 20 to 30-year benefits program for companies. You know, when you're talking about the partnerships at the regional level, property tax abatement is a huge one. I just point out these are actually old deals now. These are all probably from 2022. But you can read about the deals happening every single week. And it's very obvious that local incentives play a huge role when we're attracting these companies. So we have been, as different projects have come in, we've really been having good conversations with local communities about their property tax abatement. And REV says that you can do property tax abatement through the life of the benefits. So I just explained that we're talking 20 to 30-year benefits now, and communities are having those conversations for the first time. We've never had legislation in the state before that is talking about a 20 to 30-year tax abatement. So this is something new, and it's been very exciting to work with local communities and say, yes, we really want this investment. On the workforce side, I'm sure you talked about CEJA last year, the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. We are getting very close to launching different programs with it now. So that we are spending $180 million a year on workforce programs in the clean energy sector. So the Climate Works pre-apprenticeship there in the yellow, that notice of funding opportunity is due on June 2nd. The Energy Transition Navigators Notice of Funding Opportunity will come out, we're thinking, in the next few weeks. And then there are 13 local hubs already put into legislation, the different communities or areas where the hubs will be located. And we expect that Notice of Funding Opportunity to become a hub will happen later this summer. So it's a real statewide effort. It's a real community-driven effort. We're working on curriculum. We're working with many partners. GSU has played a huge role in that. But, you know, Illinois is incredibly strong on workforce as it stands. And as we look at other states, we're very, very strong. And we just want to make sure that we are continuing on the workforce side to help with this transition. Another way that we're investing is what we call manufacturing training academies. We did make an investment in Heartland Community College in Bloomington Normal for their partnership with Rivian. And then again, TCCI has a partnership with Richland Community College, with the city, and with Granger School of Engineering from U of I to create a climatic center for research and innovation, which you're going to hear more about in the coming months and is going to be an incredible resource for businesses across the state and across the region. We've also recognized that these projects are wanting to be ready to go in 24 months. And we don't have sites in Illinois that are ready to go in 24 months. We can get you to a place in 36 months, but we know that site readiness is a real issue as we're being competitive across the country. So we did recently do a grant opportunity for up to $5 million per site. Those have not been awarded yet. They haven't been announced yet, but they will probably in the next month. And then Intersect Illinois, you heard from Dan Seals last year. He is the CEO of Intersect Illinois. They are our nonprofit partner for business attraction, and they have created a new program called Illinois' Vetted Sites. And so they have a listing right now of 17 sites across the state where they're actually vetting and being able to see what is needed on that site to get it site ready and who is the most ready. So you cannot not talk about the EV supply chain here. And we are very cognizant of the importance of the EV supply chain. You know, we have the 4th largest auto manufacturing base in the United States already, and that means that eventually everyone producing internal combustion engines is going to need to produce electric vehicle parts instead. So we're very focused on the fact that we need to help with this transition. And I know we have friends from the Illinois Manufacturing Extension here today. They did a study where they looked at electrification impacts on existing Illinois employers, and they did risk assessment and with the Center for Automotive Research. And so we're basically using that research with them, and we're going to partner with them and do some hand-holding out in the automotive industry in Illinois and kind of let people know whether you're in danger according to this report, and this is how we can help you. So we're going to start setting that program up very soon. A little bit on the charging infrastructure side. This is really handled a lot by my colleague Mega at the Illinois EPA, but I just want to showcase that Illinois is really investing in this as well. So there was the Volkswagen settlement, many of you may know, has enabled us to do several projects regarding electrification, and one of them was a $12.6 million grant program to support private business to install DC fast charging in priority areas. Those recipients will be named in the near future. What is coming sometime soon, we hope, is the Charging Infrastructure Grants Program through the EPA. That will be, as I say here, 5 tranches of $14 million each, which will be launched for Level 2 and Level 3 charging infrastructure. And then our friends at the Illinois Finance Authority have a commercial property assessed clean energy program, which does include electric vehicle charging stations as eligible improvements. Also, EPA has launched the state clean school bus grants. Those are due September 5th. We really feel, our friends with Lion are here, we really feel that, electric school buses are a very first foray for a lot of communities, and we want to make sure that transition goes very well for them as well. So other VW programs that will be launched will be $27 million for public transit buses and passenger commuter locomotives, and then we'll have a tranche for all-electric Class 4 to 8 local freight trucks. Those will be rolled out over the next year. So as Congresswoman Kelly was saying, there is a lot of federal funding rolling out. I mean, that is, in addition to the state incentives, like I said, the federal impetus for companies to reshore their product lines or to open up factories in the United States is a huge factor. But there are many opportunities for the state and for local businesses to take part in these credits and grants and exemptions. And so the governor has said that we want to get more than our fair share in Illinois of that federal funding. So he has created a public-private partnership, a consortium that's called Innovate Illinois, that includes him as a co-chair. On the industry side, Jenny Scanlon, who is the CEO of UL Solutions, and on the academic side, Chancellor Jones of UIUC. And they are meeting regularly. We are really prioritizing projects. We are talking about the semiconductor funding, which is very relevant to EVs. We're talking about a lot of the manufacturing training academies. There are so many opportunities for Illinois. Whether it's the state leading the charge on an application or another entity, we want to make sure that we're in the game. So if you have any interest in or need to get involved in that, please come up to me after, and I'm very happy to make some connections for you. One of my last points is that all of these opportunities are available on one website, which is also new since last year, ev.illinois.gov. That lists charging grants, for example, are usually under the Communities tab, and then everything you need to know about the Reimagining Energy and Vehicles in Illinois program and the micro program for semiconductors is under the Companies tab. We have a one-pager there, we've got more information, and we have the application. I really appreciate this time to update you. I know we're going to have a great symposium today, and I look forward to hearing from all the other speakers. Thank you.